I know you have a list of anti-inflammatory foods as well. But before we go there, you mentioned staying away from herbicides, pesticides. And I know the average person is like, well, it's not like I'm just going to go drink some herbicide or pesticide. Like it's, how do I avoid those things if they're just putting it on our food already?
Yeah.
And for me, that's where the conversation of organic, farm to table type things come to mind for me. My biggest reason for eating organic, because a lot of times people just don't, the average person doesn't really know why would I go spend extra money to get organic when I can just get the non-organic one, but it's the same thing, right? They're both peppers.
Right.
They're both strawberries, whatever, but like one's organic, it's just more expensive. What's the difference?
Right.
It's not always this case, but in a lot of times it is the case that organic uses a lot less of those herbicides, pesticides, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't even realize it, because that's the thing that's so defeating about this sometimes, Tyler, is that you talk to your clients and you talk to your friends and family, and they're like, listen, I'm doing all the right things. Like, oh my God, I'm eating all my fruits and vegetables, right? Tyler, you were eating all your blueberries. They're so high in antioxidants. They're a great brain food. But why am I still not seeing the results? And it could be that these fruits and vegetables are carrying some of those herbicides and pesticides, that aren't good for the body. So, looking for organic can make a huge difference for sure. GMO stuff as well. There's been a lot of research on non-GMO and GMO foods, and GMO foods have been known to cause an inflammatory response in certain cases as well. So pay attention to those as well, because it's got to be so disheartening. I mean, I know clients come to me and they're just sad and they're worn out and they're so over it. They're like, I've been doing all of that and I still feel bad, so helping just kind of peel back the layers and say, it might be the herbicides or pesticides, organic might be, a choice, or non-GMO might be a choice, because it feels like you've been trying so hard, or the types of oils, you might need to change it just a little bit. I tell everybody, a 10% tweak can create a 90% improvement in outcomes. But it can be very overwhelming. And it's bio-individual. Like, by the way, I eat blueberries all the time and I don't have a sensitivity to them and I think they're amazing. But gosh, if you woke up and found out that you did, then, you wouldn't be doing the right thing for yourself. So that's a really good point for sure.
Yeah. And then the preservatives as well.
Yes.
My thing is I try to avoid, for the most part, this isn't like a blanket statement that is always true, but in a lot of cases, if you just avoid the cans and the boxes, you're avoiding a lot of preservatives, right? Instead of canned tomatoes or canned corn or canned green beans or whatever, I'm just going to go get the tomatoes, the green beans, the corn, whatever.
Yeah.
Whole food, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean from Whole Foods. That means like I just go to my market down the street that sells, farm fresh veggies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Opting for that kind of stuff over the can makes a huge difference in the preservatives. Now, this is the thing that a thing that comes up often for me is they use words like preservatives, and there's different ways of preserving your food. We're not saying that all preservatives are bad, because I'll tell you right now that when my grandma takes her tomatoes from her garden in the fall, and she'll put them in, I don't know exactly what she does. I'm not an expert on preservation. Actually, I've been wanting to learn more about it. But if you've got veggies and you're soaking them in salt water or in vinegar, you're preserving them that way. That is so much healthier for you than getting the preservative cans from the store, because there's different kinds of preservatives. Just like how there's different kinds of ginger ale. My brother got sick last week and he called me up and he's like, hey, Ty, I'm sick, but don't worry, I'm drinking some ginger ale.